guys, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be doing a first year teacher Q&A video, as you can probably tell by the title. But I asked you guys for questions over on Instagram. You should definitely go follow me at Hailey Teaches. I kind of left it open for everything. So obviously teaching, but also just life questions, WGU, which is where I'm getting my master's from, fitness, like just any questions you guys have. And you sent in some really good ones. So I'm just going to jump in and get started because there's a lot of good questions and I hope I don't ramble. So the first question is, how is WGU going? I started August 1st and I completed one class. I'm on my second class. My goal was to get 4 classes done this month, but classroom setup kind of took over. So I'm only on my second class, but I'm almost done with it. So I'll be going on to my third class, hopefully like by the time this month ends. Today is already August 26th, so I won't be done with my third class by the end of this month, but at least I'll start it. But my favorite thing about WGU is that it's just at your own pace. There's no deadline, so whatever you get done, you get done. You can accelerate, which I do plan to do still. My goal was anywhere from 6 to 12 months to finish my program. There's 13 classes, and I'm in the Curriculum and Instruction Master's program. If you want a video all about WGU, definitely just leave a comment down below and I can film a video all about that. But overall, it's going really well. It's pretty simple, honestly. At least for my program, it's all papers rather than the objective testing. So I don't have any like proctored exams. It's more just papers, which is more time consuming, but that's kind of my forte. My second major in college was English, so I'm used to writing a lot of papers. How are you affording materials for your classroom? Are you paying out of pocket? So I started collecting things for my classroom, which I think is another question, since my freshman year of college. So that kind of helps with the cost of things because you're buying things over a long period of time, and I would never buy things full price. It would always be like on clearance or after holiday sales or when the Target dollar spot goes on clearance. Collected a lot of things just over time, and I didn't really have to buy a ton of stuff in a short period of time. But as far as like student materials, I would definitely say hold off because a lot of the time your school will provide those things like pencils, crayons, markers, colored pencils. Student supplies like that will most likely be provided for you. I did put together an Amazon Classroom wish list, and a ton of people from here and Instagram, and then of course my family and friends, contributed a ton of stuff to my classroom, so that was a big help. If I bought all of those things myself, it would literally be like thousands of dollars. And sometimes your school will also give you a budget. I know not all schools do, but I was lucky enough to get a budget, so I did get $250 towards anything for my classroom that I wanted to purchase. It's not like I could go out and buy it and then get refunded. We don't do that at my school. It's more like they send you the website, so I think we do like school specialty and like some other school websites that have like a huge variety of things that you can order online, and then your school submits the order and then it comes in. So that's how my school does it. Do you always plan on living and teaching in Massachusetts? I like this question because no, actually I don't. I have always lived in Massachusetts, and it is going to be weird like moving, but Brendan and I do plan to move to North Carolina. Not anytime soon. It's definitely going to be like 10 years from now, like when we're ready to buy a house, and it's definitely going to be a big adjustment. Like for example, here in Massachusetts, what I'm making as a first year teacher, I'll be making less in North Carolina as like a 5-year teacher or something. But of course the cost of living is so much different and cheaper down there, so it all evens out, but it is going to be an adjustment, so that's why I'm like saving all my money now. So that when I do move there, like 10 years from now, the transition will be a lot easier, I think. What is your goal for this year that is unrelated to teaching? Also another good question. I have a lot of financial goals this year. I want to be debt-free by the end of the school year, so that is like my biggest goal probably. I want to be debt-free by the end of the school year, as far as like student loans and just everything. I don't have any credit card debt, so it's just my student loans, my car that I have to pay off, and then I also want to save $6,000 just in general for my savings account, and another $1,000 for my apartment savings, because I have like a separate savings account just for an apartment, because another big goal I have is to move out. Currently I'm living at my grandparents' house, and Brendan and I are going to move in finally at the end of the school year, hopefully. So by next summer we will be in an apartment. That is the goal. So I guess my 2 biggest goals are get an apartment and pay off all my student loans. And let me know if you guys want to see more of that, because I feel like honestly Like I mentioned in my last classroom setup vlog, I'm not going to be vlogging during contract hours, so my teacher vlogs are going to of course be like teaching related, but it's just going to be like before and after school mostly. And I do want to include some of like my financial journey and like my debt-free journey in that, so let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that part of my life. If you guys aren't interested, I can of course like scale it back and not like always be talking about it, but I feel like it's definitely going to be a huge part of my life for this next year, just because I'm not going to be able to spend money like ever. I'm literally just going to be able to buy gas, because I already budgeted out all my checks. Like I know what's going to what. How do you budget slash save money? So I've been budgeting ever since the summer of, I think it was 2017, I started budgeting my checks. I've always been really good with saving money. It kind of just came naturally to me. I have no problem like saying, okay, this is the set number I'm putting aside, and then just put it into savings. Whenever I had a job, which was like my summer job at the time, I would open up the notes on my phone and budget out my checks. So say I was getting like $600, I would write $600 and the dates that I was getting paid, and then put little check boxes and the things that I need to pay for, and then I would kind of make an amount for like spending money too. So for example, some categories would be like savings, like how much I was going to put aside in my savings account, and then like things like gas, food, anything else that was going on, like if I needed to buy contacts, like those are expensive, if I was getting my hair done, things like that. Budget that out. And then spending for me is literally just spending. Like I wouldn't keep like, say I was gonna get my hair done, I make a hair appointment its own category, because I don't want that as part of my spending category, because that's not like free spending. When I say spending, that's literally money like I do not need to account for anything. It's just there to spend on whatever the heck I want. So I hope that was helpful. I don't know. Have you always wanted to teach 5th grade? No, actually not at all. My dream grades were always like 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, you know, like the younger grades, and I've always kind of worked with that age group. When I was a camp counselor, I was K through 2. When I was a substitute, I would kind of purposely only choose like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. I don't think I probably subbed 5th grade like one day, because I just always avoided them. So no, I did not expect to teach 5th grade, and I actually applied for my job. I thought it was a 3rd grade position, that's what it was listed as, but it just so happened that a teacher was already moving down to that 3rd grade position within the school. So like the 5th grade teacher was moving to 3rd grade, and they just had to list it as a 3rd grade position, but really the 5th grade would be opening up. So here I am, but I'm excited for it. It's really grown on me. I soon taught in 4th grade and I loved it, so I think 5th grade is going to be fine, and I think I'm going to surprise myself and just really love it. So who knows, maybe I'll stay in 5th grade for a while. How are you staying active slash fit during quarantine and prepping and teaching? Well, back in January or February, I would say, I got on this really healthy slash fit kick, and I was doing such a good job. For like 12 weeks straight, I was exercising regularly 3 times a week at least, eating clean. Like, it was the first time in my life that I actually like committed to just like being healthier, and I loved it. But quarantine hit, and here I am. And literally all summer, I tell you, I have not made a healthy meal. What? Just kidding. I probably made a healthy meal like twice this entire summer. I've just been eating out or eating whatever other people make, which is fine. But I'm here to tell you, I'm gonna get back on track, get into my meal prepping mode. I start work this Monday officially. The kids don't come back till September 16th, but I start August 31st. I guess to answer the question, I haven't been staying fit. What do you suggest doing to make the separation between school and home? These are things that I'll be navigating, of course. This is my first year of teaching, but I have a plan to only stay after school 2 times a week. I'm gonna like designate 2 days where I can stay after if I need to. For me as a person, it'll be very easy to just fall into the trap of staying late every day. But I know like I have a good support system at my school. I'm gonna pick 2 days where I stay after school if I need to get things done, plan, whatever. And I'm going to make sure I do one thing after school every day for myself. So whether that's binge watching some YouTube, anything that I do for myself, if it's like meeting up with a friend or like going for a walk, whatever it may be, it can literally be anything. you know, just to do something for myself that's not school related. This is an interesting question. Someone asked, did anyone say anything to you when you wore your Black Lives Matter shirt at school? So granted, I did wear it on a day that was just classroom setup, so it wasn't like the school was full or anything, but no one said anything, and I don't think anyone should say anything, at least negative. I mean, my principal saw it, my team teacher saw it. My team teacher actually mentioned that she liked it. I think in general, I am in such an amazing district where my superintendent has actually sent out memos about using your platform to stand up against injustices. So I feel pretty comfortable at my school wearing that. This is where, like, silence really is violence. If you're not supporting the cause and you're just pretending like it doesn't exist, kids obviously realize that, and they're gonna take your silence as, oh, my teacher doesn't believe I matter, or my teacher doesn't believe black students matter. I am an advocate for Black Lives Matter. Everyone should be, especially educators, and I'm so thankful I'm in a district that realizes that. These are just basic human rights. So how soon did you start applying for jobs? I started applying for jobs on February break. If you're a student teaching, you can start applying for jobs because you know you're graduating whenever that is. So I started applying in February. There was a few jobs up. There's not going to be a ton, most likely. I think the most popular time is typically after April, and then especially in the summer, jobs will go up. There's already a few jobs going up around me, so I applied to those that were up on School Spring. I have a video all about interviews and stuff, so I'll link that down below because I know there's some questions too getting into that. I definitely recommend to get started early. It doesn't hurt at all. It only helps you. Are you worried about your salary not being enough? This is a good question. For me personally, as a first-year teacher, this is the most amount of money I've ever made in my entire life. So while it's not a lot and it's not like a crazy amount, it's a lot for me. But like I said, with my financial goals specifically, like for me that I have, it is a little bit concerning just because I won't be able to spend any money at all. Like, no joke. Like, I can only buy gas. Half of my check is going to student loans. In order to pay off my student loans, the amount that I have, which is like 16,000 something, I have to put half my check to debt every 2 weeks. So within 26 paychecks, half my check will pay off my student loans. And then after that half is gone, I'm still paying for my car. I'm still saving $6,000 for the year plus another $1,000. And then I also have to save for my car insurance because I pay that off by the year. For 15 weeks, I'll be saving like $100, I think, towards my car insurance, and then that comes up in May and that'll be all set. So I know that's kind of confusing because I have so much I'm saving for, but once I'm done saving and paying for all that stuff, I literally only have, I think, like $100 for the 2 weeks because I get paid bi-weekly. So $100 for 2 weeks, and I'm working full-time. So yeah, it is a little concerning, but like I said, I'm lucky enough to be living at my grandparents' house. I seriously have no bills. Like, when it comes down to it, I can do this. I just have to be disciplined enough to not buy unnecessary things. If I was not living at home, no, I could definitely not pay off all my student loans in 1 year. That would be impossible. But since I am living at my grandparents' house, I have no like major bills, I'm gonna be able to do it. What I keep telling myself is that it's short-term sacrifice for long-term happiness, and that is my mantra for this year. Where did you get most of your work clothes? So I think a lot of my like fancy pants that I have are from Primark. I love Primark. They're pretty cheap. Marshalls, a lot of my clothes come from, and Target. And Walmart. Walmart actually has a lot of like my pants from Walmart and plain t-shirts that I like to wear. So Walmart, Marshalls, Target, and Primark. How are you holding up emotionally with your first year being during COVID? This has just been the question of the year. Honestly, I feel like I've been a mental wreck since March, not just because of teaching, but just life in general. Like, I never thought I'd be the type of person to like start going crazy when I'm just sitting at home and like basically have nothing but my thoughts. But it is a rough time out here. It is like, since March I haven't had a job, even though I've been prepping like crazy for my classroom. I haven't had a job, and it's like, that sounds like the dream, but no, I need at least something. Like, I don't want to be working full-time in the summer, but I do want something like I've had the past 2 years where I was working like 4 hours a day, because it's just something, it takes up a decent amount of your day. It's something to like prep for and live for. So long story short, I feel like I've been going in and out of like funks basically this entire time since March. I truly feel like I've been through so many emotions about teaching already, because obviously this just isn't how I expected my first year to go, and so many things are different and not what you go into teaching for. Like, you don't go into teaching to teach through a computer screen, but it's temporary, and that's what I keep telling myself, because if I wasn't able to say this is temporary, I don't know how I would get through it. So this is temporary. There will be a day in my career where everything will be back to normal-ish. Kids will be able to collaborate and not wear masks and all that stuff. Like I keep saying, I only have one first year of teaching, so I'm gonna make it the best I can. I love this question. If you could teach your class one main idea about life this year, what would it be? So, kind of going off the Black Lives Matter movement and social justice in general, I really want to focus on advocating for yourself and others. I think that's the main thing. We have so much still to fight for here in the United States, so much progress we still have to make, and I think teaching, especially 5th graders, about advocating for themselves and others is going to be like my main thing, and that can be done too in younger grades. I don't say especially 5th graders because of the age aspect, just say especially because I feel like they're more aware of the stuff going on, even though younger grades are definitely too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely follow me on Instagram at Hailey Teaches to be a part of Q&A videos in the future, and definitely subscribe if you're not already here on YouTube so you can follow along my teaching journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.